guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I am going to tell you all about my tattoos. I've got quite a few and I have done a video about this before when I think I had like 4 or 5. So I will leave that link below. It is on my old channel, so feel free to check it out, but I don't use that channel anymore. And I have got 2 more booked in for just after Christmas, so there will be an updated video maybe next summer of sort of the finished thing. Okay, so let's get started. So the first ever tattoo I got was actually my birthday written on my wrist, which I have since had covered up. So it was sort of here on my wrist, and that has been covered up into this sort of rose mandala. I will do close up so you can see what I'm talking about. So that was my first tattoo, which obviously I've then had covered up, so it's not now my first tattoo, if that makes sense. But the reason I originally got my birthday was basically because I turned 18 and thought, I really want a tattoo, but I haven't put enough thought into what tattoo, so I'm just going to get any tattoo. And that's what I did. And I loved it to start with, like, I loved it, it was the best, all my friends loved it. And then it started getting a bit awkward because a lot of people thought it was the date that me and my boyfriend got together, which it could have been. I mean, it wasn't, but you know, if you didn't know it was my birthday you might think it was, which was just awkward because I always stick to the thing of you shouldn't get anything related to a partner, a boyfriend, you know. I mean, I just turned 18, so we would have only been together, wow, not very long, so I wouldn't have got a tattoo related to him anyway then. But yeah, and then other people started taking the mick a little bit, and I was working one night and I think it was like a builder or something, he came in and he was like, oh, what does your tattoo mean? And I was like, oh, it's my birthday in Roman numerals. And first of all he asked why it was in Roman numerals, because I wasn't alive when Roman numerals were used, if you like. I've always known them as sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, you know what I mean. And then he was like, oh, so have you got it on your arm so when you're older and you have Alzheimer's you'll remember your birthday? I was like, no, I just got it because it's my birthday and I like it. And then the other comment that I got a lot about it was, it looks like a barcode, so you look like a Barbie doll sort of with a barcode on your arm, which I actually quite liked. I quite liked it looking like a barcode, but irrelevant. So basically I decided to get it covered up because I am starting my sleeve, as you can see, so it needed to go anyway, basically, long story short. So the next tattoo that I then got was the one on my ankle, which again I will do a close-up of. It is on my right ankle at the front and it just says C'est la vie. This one was also a little bit spur of the moment. I decided that I really liked it, and I do want to get lots of leg tattoos, so this was like a perfect place to start. The writing, I really like the writing, the cursive sort of writing on it. It didn't hurt that much, but in comparison to the one on my wrist, which I would give like 2 out of 5, the one on my ankle was like 4 out of 5 because it's bonier, but it didn't hurt like excruciating. So yeah, and that one took, I think that one took about 10 minutes because at the same time I got the one here on the back of my arm, which is basically, the original design was going to be 2 deer antlers, sort of like, well, you know, deer antlers. But when we drew it up, I wasn't really a fan. So we sort of made it into like branches from a tree with like flowers on it and stuff. And I was like, I like it, but it's not quite what I want. So I sort of thought about it for a bit while we were there and sort of drew a few designs up. And we basically came up with this design, which is blossom leaves, flowers, whatever, onto branches. And the reason why I got that one was because I have lived in one house ever since I can remember, and we live opposite a humongous blossom tree, and you know, every time the blossom comes out and then the blossom fills all the road with like pink, oh, it's just beautiful. So it's almost like a bit of a memory of my house, because I am moving house in January and I'm excited to move, don't get me wrong, but this has always been my house, so it's going to be weird living somewhere else. So this is sort of, it sounds so silly, but this is where I've had all my memories my whole life. and we've always lived opposite a blossom tree, so that sort of was the reasoning for that. But it was spare at the moment and it is just pretty, so mix of the two. But I got those two done at the same time, so it overall took about 45 minutes to do. And this one was actually more painful than my ankle. This was probably, yeah, because we said, oh, we'll do the one on your ankle first because that'll be more painful, and then we'll do this one, but this one was actually more painful. Anyway, so the next tattoo I got is actually this one here on my ribs. Again, I will do the close-up so you can see, but it's basically Sleeping with Sirens lyrics, and it says, sometimes you've got to fall before you fly. The reasoning for this one, basically Sleeping with Sirens are my life. I'd never heard of them until I left my first year of college, so 2013, so 2014-ish was when I really started listening to them. And I hadn't really heard of them before, and for some reason, like the first time I ever heard them, I just clicked. I got shown them at college by my friend, and literally every night from then on, we would sit together waiting for the bus and just listen to Sleeping with Sirens, and it was, I don't know why, it just, their lyrics just sort of meant something, and even though they're sort of rock, whatever it is, metal, they sort of scream at you, it was meaningful, and everything they were saying was sort of relevant at the time. I don't know, I just really like them, and I've followed them ever since, and I've seen them 4 times and I've met them once, so safe to say I'm a pretty big fan, and I thought that lyric in particular is so relevant to everyday life. And I know it's quite generic, a lot of people have it, but it is so generic, and you can relate it to every single situation that you're in, you know, no matter what's happening, those words are relevant and they mean something. So that's the reason I got that. However, I got it done by an apprentice, which was fine because it was cheaper, but they sort of messed up on the last word, fly. It's cursive anyway, so it's sort of difficult to read because it's all sort of long cursive letters. But the day after I got it done, I went back to college and I showed my friends, and they thought it said, sometimes you're too fat to fall, or something. And they actually, when it had healed, they actually drew on with a pen, sort of just joined 2 lines, and it genuinely looked like it said that. And the last word, fly, which I will do a close-up of, doesn't look like the word fly. If you didn't know what that quote was, or you hadn't heard of it before, you didn't know what it said, you probably wouldn't guess that it says fly. So I'm thinking that I might cover that because I really love underboob tattoos. So I'm thinking of getting a huge underboob one that goes all the way around and covers that. And then when I do my sleeve, I will get the Sleeping with Sirens logo or something just incorporated into it. Or the Sleeping with Sirens logo behind my ear, because a lot of the members have that, so, but that's quite cliche, so I'll probably just have it somewhere, just a little logo somewhere to fill in a gap on my arm, just because I love it so much, but it just annoys me that no one can read it, and it's just not worth, I'm not happy with it. And when I spoke to my artist that I use now, he said there's not really any way you can fix it because it's just so not right that it would look silly to fix it because it would be too black. The only other option is to add another bird, where obviously I've got one swallow and I'd add another and put fly underneath. But I think that would look even more silly because then you just have the random word fly further down, and I'm not a huge fan. So I think I'm going to cover that with a huge underboob tattoo. But you'll probably see that in the future because I, of course, will film it. So the next tattoo that I got is on the back of my neck, and it says family. This one might be quite hard to film, so I will try my best. But I'm sorry if it doesn't look quite right on camera. Pretty obvious why I got this one. I got this one for my mum's side of the family because we had a big fallout, breakup situation. Won't go into that. And basically we weren't allowed to speak to certain members of the family due to this fallout. And one of those members was my cousin, who growing up was like a third sister. So we were all, you know, me, my sister and my cousin would always be together because we were just, well, we were family, I guess. And so when we started speaking again, privately, obviously we didn't let anyone know we were talking, I thought, I really want to get a tattoo that sort of connects us so that people can see. I don't know how to describe it, like family is stronger than words, if that makes sense. So even though things have been said, not between us, but between parents and things, even though things have been said, you know, the bond between family members is just unbreakable basically. So that was sort of the reason I got that. Plus it looks really pretty, and I always wanted a tattoo on the back of my neck because originally I wanted tattoos all around my neck here. However, I am now working in a school, so I don't think that they would particularly like that. So I won't probably ever get that. But I thought the back of my neck at the time was a perfect place to start, and it looks really pretty and I really like it. And then actually about 2-3 months later, I've got a second cousin who I don't really speak to her, but we sort of have each other on Facebook, and she got exactly the same tattoo on her arm. We didn't even, you know, we didn't know that we were each getting it, and I don't know whether she'd seen it on me or what, but she got the same one. So that was sort of nice as well to have her incorporated into it, even though we are second cousins, so we don't really know each other that well, but it was quite nice. It sort of links everyone together. Okay, so the next tattoo I have got is also on my right leg, and it's right at the bottom on the back of my ankle, and it is the Bring Me the Horizon album logo. Basically I got this for Bring Me because I love the album, and that's pretty much the reasoning. However, it is a really cute umbrella, so it's sort of win-win because I got home and showed my mum, and obviously she had no idea it linked to Bring Me at all, and she just thought it was really cute. So obviously for me it does link Bring Me and my love for them. As you can tell, I have a thing for bands. Yeah, it links them to me, but also it was just a really cute, it was a flash day I think, so it was like 15 quid that I got when I also got my tummy button pierced. I had that at the same time, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, really like that one. Not a huge amount to say apart from it links to Bring Me, but it is just a really cute umbrella at the same time because not everyone knows about Bring Me. Okay, so the next tattoo I have got is on my left foot, and this one says Grandad, and it has got some roses on it, all coloured in, pretty. I decided to get this when my granddad died last August. Yes, 2015. We were on holiday, and he passed away while we were on holiday. Won't go into it because I will get emotional. Basically, I'd got the tattoo on the back of my neck from my mum's side of the family, but I hadn't got anything from my dad's side, and my nan passed away when I was 7, I believe, so I don't really remember her very well, unfortunately. So I didn't get anything sort of just to remember her. I like rounded tattoos, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to get everyone's name, because I'd have just a shopping list on my arm of like Grand, Mum, Nan, Dad, it would just go on and on and on and on. So, sorry, I've got a cold if you can't tell. So that's the reason obviously why I got the one on my neck and then the one on my foot when my granddad passed away. This is probably, apart from now my sleeve, that one is my favourite tattoo. That is definitely my most meaningful tattoo because obviously it's for my granddad. Yeah, I won't go into talking about my granddad because like I said I will get upset, but I love the tattoo. My dad cried when he saw it because it was his dad, and it was a total surprise. I came home one day, I told my mum obviously, but I came home one day with it on my foot and he thought it was beautiful and he loved it, and you know, all of my dad's side of the family love it. So yeah, I'm going to stop because I will get sad, but that took 2 hours for the outline, and then I had to go back and have it coloured in, and that took another 2 hours, so 4 hours in total. Totally worth the pain because your foot is like the most painful area to get tattooed. Totally worth the pain, although I did kick my artist in the face while he was doing it. Apparently my feet have really strong reflexes, and he just went over something that didn't like it and my foot spasmed, and luckily the needle wasn't still in my foot. He'd taken it out, and I basically kicked him in the face. So sorry about that, Dan, didn't mean to. Moving swiftly on. The next tattoo that I got was my cover-up that I talked about at the beginning, on my wrist arm thing. Yeah, so I've explained sort of why I got it covered up, and then I decided to get this basically because it was really pretty, but also because I'm trying to start my sleeve. So the idea behind it was like a big piece to start it off. Obviously the leaves at the bottom are fairly dark because they are what covered up the original birthday lettering. And And then I've got a rose that is very similar to the roses on my foot, so it's sort of linked, sort of like a theme, if you get what I mean. And then I've got half a mandala at the top. There is no reason why, like I say, I've really got this. I did just really like it. I love the shading. Dan, I will leave Dan's Instagram below. I'll leave the Facebook page for his tattoo studio down below, because if you are local to me, you should just go there, because honest to God, he is just the best tattoo artist that you will ever have. Yeah, so he did a really good job. It didn't hurt at all, apart from when he was covering up the original numbers, because obviously you're going over healed skin. So that hurt more than I remember it hurting when I first got it done. Yeah, I just really like it, and like I say, it's sort of the perfect start to my entire sleeve. Coming on to my sleeve, I got the rest of my arm tattoo about a month ago now. Yeah, about a month ago. So basically, it's roses, and sort of, I'm going very flowery with this sleeve. You will be able to tell when I've finished that it will be quite flowery. So we basically drew up, or Dan drew up, I didn't draw these, lots of different types of flowers, and then cut them all out and just stuck them on a bit randomly, really, just around the place to sort of join everything together. And I have to say, this is probably my favourite tattoos. It's pretty much healed. It's still, some places are a little bit bumpy, but some pieces have healed completely fine. Obviously it will fade to look like my other one eventually, but yeah, that is probably my favourite tattoo out of all of them, just because I'm so excited to get my sleeve going that I just, so excited. And then my final tattoo that I've got, yeah, are these two swallows here, which again I will close up. Now, remember earlier I was talking about the tattoo on the back of my neck and how it linked to my cousin and that sort of side of my family. This links directly to my cousin. So we started speaking again about a year ago. It was quite random actually. She literally just popped up to me on Facebook and said that she wanted to get to know me again because it had been 5 years or whatever, and we should go shopping, and that's what we did, and now we see each other once a month. So that's lovely. And we basically decided to get tattoos together because that's what we do. We did get the same tattoo, however she got hers on her ankle. And obviously the reasoning for mine was one for me and one for Beth. Yeah, so that's the reason why I got those. They were £40 I think, which was quite expensive for just such a tiny tattoo. It literally took 5 minutes. But I guess they charge by the hour now, so that's what they have to do. So that again is quite meaningful in the sense that it's related to me and my cousin, and I do really like it. Perfect placement, and I probably won't get anything else on this arm. I'm going to keep this one quite plain, so it's just quite a nice little add-on to nothing, if you know what I mean, just keeping this one very plain. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye guys!